USC's 1-3 start have many questioning some of the coaching decisions made by Coach Helton. Here to help me introduce a brand new segment called Agree or Disagree is Paolo Uggetti and Jack Safon. Thanks for joining me, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's go into our first decision. After a quarterback battle that lasted into fall camp, redshirt junior Max Brown was named the starter. But just last week, Coach Helton decided to change the offense around. They needed a spark, and he made Sam Darnold, redshirt freshman, the starting quarterback. So after Darnold's successful debut against Utah, do you agree or disagree with Helton's decision?
Personally, I disagree.
I agree.
Okay.
Well, the reason why I disagree is because the offense, Max sort of got an unfair take. Two of his first three opponents were against top 10 opponents. Obviously, Alabama and Stanford are two of the better teams in the country. And the reason why it's unfair to me is because Max wasn't the reason for the team's struggles. The offensive line could have played better. The defense let up a lot of big plays. And Helton making this decision in this fashion just sort of scapegoats Max and makes it seem like to the world that he's the reason for the team's struggles.
Okay, you're definitely right about Max not being the sole reason for USC's offensive struggles, but the thing is that from the beginning of the season, it should have been Sam Darnold's job. With Sam in there, as you saw against Utah, the offense moved with a lot more rhythm, a lot more pace. It was a lot more successful. He got the ball to Juju Smith-Schuster more. It was just an entirely more successful offense, and I think that's the offense USC wanted to run from the beginning. But because Helton stuck with Max, they weren't allowed to do that, and now they had to go back and right or wrong. But I think that it was the right decision in the moment because you had to give Sam Darnold the job at this point. He gave the offense a spark Helton wanted. We'll see how this continues to go into the season, but I think in a vacuum, that third week decision, though it was kind of ill-advised, it was the right one.
So in your mind, is Max the starter right now? Is he still going through the whole season?
Max should have been the starter if you ask me, because most of the throws that Sam made in that game, I thought Max could have made, and I thought if T just opened up the playbook in that fashion for Max, he could have been more successful.
Okay, we got another decision. Another decision that Helton got some heat for happened more recently. Against Utah, USC elected to punt on 4th and 3 from the Utah 37. There was less than 6 minutes left in the game, and the Trojans could have theoretically ended the game if they converted on 4th down. But this is not the first time that Helton has been criticized for punting on 4th down this year. 2 weeks ago against Stanford, the Trojans decided to punt while in Stanford territory, despite being down 3 scores with only 9 minutes remaining. So guys, do you agree or disagree with Helton's punting decisions?
I think this one's easy. I disagree.
Disagree.
Explain yourselves. Okay, let's hear it.
All right, well, first of all, against Stanford, it was bad because you were down 17 points and you needed some kind of points in that match. There was no reason to punt. 9 minutes left in the game. The only chance the team was going to have to get back into the game was if they went for it. So that one is more nonsensical to me. But against Utah, it cost them the game. So I think the one that was more costly was the Utah one because it gave Utah the chance to come back and basically just engineer a 90-yard drive that gave them the victory in the last minutes.
See, while maybe the Utah game decision was more costly, I think the Stanford one was more egregious. Like you said, they were down 3 scores with only 9 minutes to go. That's a situation where you need points. But against Utah, I definitely disagree with the decision. And the reason why is because USC's offense was rolling. They were averaging a bunch of yards per play. Justin Davis was rolling, and the defense had let up a bunch of scores in a row. If they'd been able to stop Utah's offense a little bit more throughout the second half, I understand punting because it is hard to go 95 yards to get a game-winning score, but the defense just hadn't been able to stop Utah. So
right, exactly. After the game, Clay Helton said, I trusted the defense, but the problem is he didn't really look at the context of the game, which was that the defense was not playing well. So I think that if he would have taken all those things into account, he should have gone for it.
Well, here's another question. Quick, another decision. Helton keeps doubling down on his punting decisions. He doesn't really go, you know what, we shouldn't have done that. He's very firm in his punting decision. Do you agree with this stubbornness that he has?
See, for that one, I'm definitely agreeing because
really?
I understand the reason why he's got to back his own point. Like, there's no reason while he gets hurt in the media by backing it and doubling down, like you said, if he had gone afterwards and said, yeah, maybe we should have gone for it, the media would have crushed him for saying, then why didn't you? If you knew that was the right decision, they would have crushed him either way. So for me, I understand if that's what he thinks is the best decision, then he should stick with it.
But I think that he gains some kind of credibility if he says, I went back, looked at the tape, and I definitely should have gone for that play there. Like, it shows you that he's learning at least, and he's looking back and looking at specific mistakes he's planning not to do. Because I think if he would have looked back at the Stanford game, that 4th down play was like, oh, maybe I should have gone for it, then maybe the Utah thing would have happened and USC would have had a win.
Okay. Well, we're running out of time. Last decision. Against Utah, running back Justin Davis averaged 12.6 yards a carry.
That's a lot.
But he only got 1 carry on the team's final 2 drives. USC has a ton of offensive weapons, especially at running back. Do you agree or disagree with how USC is using all their weapons?
Can I go 2?
Oh, okay.
Let's go 2.
Okay. Let's hear it.
See, for me, I definitely disagree with the lack of usage of Justin Davis. He had 10 carries for over 126 yards, so even with the fumble, he was really playing great in that game, ripping off huge chunks, so not giving him any more carries in the final 2 drives was obviously a poor decision. But at the same time, USC does have a ton of talent at the running back position, so using all the different guys and keeping the different guys fresh is definitely a good strategy. Just in this particular situation, I think you should have given the ball to Justin Davis a little bit more.
I think I agree that you have to use up all your talent, as much talent as you can. But the thing is, I think USC doesn't know how to use that talent. So the problem is when you're trying to get everybody involved, you don't really have an offensive identity. People get lost in the shuffle. And like Davis should have been the guy carrying the ball in the fourth quarter because he had the best game. He's the veteran leader. There's no reason why a rotation system should trump a player's current performance inside a game.
Yeah, I mean, we agree on that. I think that Justin Davis should have been the guy used in this situation, but overall, I think it is good to keep the guys fresh and mix them in because that way there isn't one guy just getting all the work and sort of tiring out as there could potentially be a problem there.
That's true. All right. There's always so much more to debate. That's all the time we have. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. You can catch Clay Helton and his decisions on Saturday when the Trojans take on ASU.